Welcome to part 1 of our 3-part series on one of the most important and least talked about changes happening in Indian workplaces right now. Companies across India are quietly changing salary structures. Without announcing it. Without making a fuss. Just silently redesigning how your CTC is split. Why? Because a new law is coming, the new labor codes, and buried inside it is a provision that will fundamentally reshape how salaries are calculated, how much you take home, and how much your employer must contribute to your provident fund, gratuity, and retirement benefits. In part 1, we explain what this legal change is, the 50% wage rule, and why companies are acting right now, before the law even comes into force. In part 2, we will show you exactly what HR teams are doing, the specific strategies being deployed to restructure salary packages. And in part 3, we tell you what it all means for your take-home pay, your long-term benefits, and what you should do about it. Let's start with the question nobody is asking loudly enough. Why is your salary being quietly changed, right now, without any announcement? Let us start with a scenario playing out across workplaces in India right now. Your company does not give you a pay cut. Your CTC, your cost to company, remains exactly the same. And yet your take-home salary quietly decreases. A little less in your account every month. Your payslip looks different, some allowances have shrunk, your basic pay has gone up, but the overall feel is less cash. This is not an accident. It is not a mistake. It is a calculated, preemptive response by your employer to a change in the law. Across IT companies in Bengaluru, manufacturing plants in Pune, financial services firms in Mumbai, HR and finance teams are quietly redesigning salary structures before the new labor codes become enforceable. They start with new hire offer letters. Then they work it through annual increments. Most employees have absolutely no idea it is happening. Is this illegal? No. Does it matter? Enormously. And the first step is simply understanding what the law change actually is, because that is what is driving all of this. So what is the actual law change driving all of this? The Code on Wages, 2019, one of India's 4 new labor codes, introduces a provision that seems simple but has enormous consequences. It says, basic pay plus DNS allowance must be at least 50% of your total remuneration. Look at the comparison on screen. On the left is a typical salary under the old system. Monthly CTC of Rs 60,000. Basic pay, just Rs 15,000, 25% of CTC. The rest was distributed across HRA, special allowances, and other components. Why keep basic pay so low? Because PF is calculated only on basic pay. Low basic meant low PF deductions for both employee and employer. On the right is the same CTC under the new codes. The 50% rule forces basic pay up to Rs 30,000. All allowances shrink to accommodate this. Total CTC? Still 60,000. Nothing changes on paper. But PF is now calculated on Rs 30,000 instead of Rs 15,000. The employer's monthly PF contribution doubles. Gratuity liability, calculated on basic pay, doubles over time. Leave encashment costs at exit double. This is why companies are restructuring. The law changes the financial engine inside every salary, even when the headline number stays the same. Let us look at what the new definition of wages actually includes and excludes, because this is where the real complexity lies. Under the old framework, employers had considerable flexibility. Basic pay was always included. But HRA, special allowances, task allowances, and retention bonuses were typically excluded from the wage calculation base. This gave companies the freedom to design packages where basic pay was very small, reducing PF and gratuity obligations. The new codes close this loophole. The 50% rule means that if excluded allowances push basic pay below 50% of total remuneration, those allowances must be partially reclassified as wages. The excess gets added back. In practice, genuine expense reimbursements paid against actual bills remain excluded. Bonuses that are truly variable and not guaranteed remain excluded. But anything that looks like fixed compensation, anything paid reliably as part of a monthly package, is now at risk of being counted as wages. This is why companies are not just increasing basic pay. They are conducting forensic audits of every line item in their salary structures, asking, will this survive scrutiny under the new definition? And restructuring accordingly. Let us make the financial impact concrete because the numbers tell the story better than any description. Take a monthly CTC of Rs 60,000. Under the old system, basic pay was Rs 15,000. The employer's PF contribution, 12% of basic, was Rs 1,800 per month or Rs 21,600 per year. Under the new codes, basic pay must be at least Rs 30,000. The employer's PF contribution doubles to Rs 3,600 per month or Rs 43,200 per year. That is Rs 21,600 in extra annual cost per employee. For gratuity, calculated as 15 days of basic pay per year of service, after 5 years the difference is stark. Old basic, Rs 28,800 in gratuity. New basic, Rs 57,600. Double. Now multiply this across a company with 500 employees or 5,000. The aggregate liability increase is enormous. And this is precisely why companies are restructuring now, to spread this cost adjustment gradually across payroll cycles rather than absorbing it as a sudden shock when the law kicks in. Understanding why companies are acting before the law is important because it reveals the strategic logic behind what looks like a quiet, mysterious change. The first reason is to spread the pain over time. If companies wait until the codes are fully enforced, they face the entire cost increase hitting them overnight. By restructuring gradually, they absorb the change over multiple payroll cycles. The second reason, new hires are the safest starting point. You cannot easily change an existing employee's salary without their consent and careful communication. But a new employee accepts whatever is in the offer letter as standard. So companies begin with new joiners, and by the time the law is enforced, a significant portion of their workforce is already on the new structure. The third reason is to eliminate retrospective liability. If a company is found non-compliant after the codes come into force, it may owe backdated PF contributions, face audit penalties, or encounter employee litigation. Restructuring now eliminates that risk. And the fourth reason, gratuity provisioning. Gratuity is not just a payment, it is a long-term financial obligation that companies must account for in their balance sheets. Early restructuring allows finance teams to plan this increase over years rather than absorbing it as a sudden accounting shock. This is not happening in just one company or one sector. It is a coordinated, nationwide phenomenon driven by the same legal anticipation across every major industry in India. In IT and technology companies, new hire offer letters are already structured to meet the 50% rule. Annual increments are designed to gradually increase the basic pay ratio. Variable pay components are formally documented as genuinely variable. In manufacturing, factory allowances are being reclassified. The overtime wage base is being recalculated. Contract worker packages are being redesigned entirely. In finance and banking, performance incentive structures are being separated from fixed wages, with formal documentation to ensure they qualify as genuinely variable. In logistics and e-commerce, platforms are designing social security contribution models for their gig worker networks proactively before any state notification forces them to. In retail and hospitality, festival bonuses and shift premium structures are being reclassified. In startups, ESOP-heavy packages are under review. The common thread, HR and finance teams are acting before they have to. They are restructuring before the law forces them to. In part 2, we will show you exactly what that restructuring looks like, the 4 specific strategies and what each one means for your salary. Subscribe and click the notification bell so you do not miss it. So what does all of this mean for you as an employee? In the short term, your take-home pay may decrease. Not because your CTC changes, but because the composition of your salary changes. Higher basic pay means more goes into PF deductions and less into your in-hand allowances. The rupee amount in your bank account every month may quietly shrink. In the long term, you are building more financial security. A higher PF contribution means a larger retirement corpus. A higher gratuity base means a bigger payout when you leave. These are genuine, material improvements to your financial future. The trade-off is real. Less cash in hand now, more security later. Whether this is good for you personally depends on your life stage, your financial needs, and how long you plan to stay with your employer. The critical practical question is, has this already happened to your salary without your knowledge? Look at your payslip carefully. Has your basic pay percentage increased in recent increments? Have any allowances decreased? Has PF deduction changed? Compare your offer letter to ones given to newer joiners. In Part 2, we explain exactly what HR teams are doing to execute this restructuring, the 4 specific strategies. Subscribe now so you do not miss it. That is a wrap on Part 1 of our 3-part series. Let us recap quickly. The new labor codes introduce a 50% wage rule. Basic pay must be at least half of your total remuneration. This doubles the base for calculating PF, gratuity, and leave encashment, significantly increasing employer costs. So companies are proactively restructuring salary packages right now, before the law is enforced, to spread the cost impact over time. The restructuring is happening across every major sector in India: IT, manufacturing, finance, logistics, startups. It begins with new hire offer letters, then spreads through annual increments and allowance reclassifications. For you as an employee, short term, your take home may decrease. Long term, your retirement benefits improve. The key is to know what is happening and why, so you can make informed decisions about your compensation, your career, and your financial planning. In Part 2, we go deeper. Exactly what are HR teams doing? What specific components are they targeting? What strategies are they using? What is legal versus what crosses an ethical line? The link to Part 2 is in the description. And if you want to deeply understand India's labor codes and your rights as an employee, ILMS Academy's certificate course in labor laws is the resource you need. The enrollment link is on screen. Thank you for watching Part 1. Subscribe, like, and share with a colleague who needs to hear this. See you in Part 2.